I've had the pleasure and privilege of photographing almost every major dance company in the world, from ballet companies, ABT, or modern dance companies such as Alvin Ailey. I studied anthropology in college, and from that my interest in photography arose because I wanted to capture indigenous people and their cultures. My first experience photographing dance in theaters was quite challenging because I had never photographed movement. So I would take a wide angle and try to capture just an interesting shape. Very quickly, I got attracted to photographing action and found it a relief from photographing news events, because the compositional aspects of the photo of dance was the only story I needed to tell. After my early years as a photojournalist in Boston, I moved back to my native New York, because let's face it, this is the center of art. People notice in my pictures the existence of the floor, and for me it's so important that the floor is represented for a couple of reasons. Mainly that these photographs actually happened, that the dancers were here in a real place, jumping off the floor and landing on the floor, and not recomposited or stripped out in any way. I'm known for my pictures that defy gravity, but they defy logic as well. You look at one of these photographs and it seems impossible that this actually happened. But I'm really photographing a 2,000th of a second, and that's beneath our threshold of perception. So when we look at the photograph, it looks surreal, it looks impossible. But it's absolutely real, and it can only be seen and experienced through a photograph. Prints of my images are becoming increasingly important to me. With the ubiquity of images out there on the web, in all the digital media, in the marketplace, there's just a vast ocean of images, and for me the actual print can show the subtlety and uniqueness of what I'm trying to capture. I'm drawn to these fine art papers because of the textural quality. I feel that I could feel the powder, or feel the chiffon in the picture, or even experience the wind blowing through a scarf. The great thing about working with the Hot Press Bright papers is that I finally have a real black and vibrant colors, and I was never able to achieve that before. Another thing I love about the Hot Press Bright papers is that the surface of the paper doesn't interfere with the experience of the image. You just fall right into that world I photographed. The thickness of these new papers give the prints an intrinsic value that is very impressive to the fine art client. I see my dancers as sculptures in the air, and for that reason I choose to light them with long tonal transitions, nothing too contrasty. With the Hot Press Bright papers, I can reproduce that feeling of soft, smooth, long tonal transitions. One thing I don't miss about darkroom prints is that they never dried flat. Galleries would always complain about waviness, and with these papers, they lie so flat and they mount so well. It's a dream. I love the vibrancy in the colors. I mean, all of a sudden now, color and black and white is equally important to me. I'm no longer just a black and white photographer. And to get this kind of vibrancy and smooth, nuanced skin tones with total accuracy and poetry, and all in this one paper. I love the feel of these prints. I love touching the paper and just appreciating the depth and richness of the tones. From, I mean, this kind of image goes from extreme highlight to all the black, and I feel I can touch what's happening. The signature on a print gives it its authenticity and gives it its value as a fine art print. This is an age in which things can be infinitely reproduced, but the artist's signature cannot.